we are making a TPC performance test. If, in case you don't know, this is an industry standard benchmark for database systems. It can run in many database systems. And for this particular test, we have prepared two databases that we have done installation, plain installation. It means the most similar to next installation with the default parameters and still in a way that it performs for the architecture we have provided. We are not using the best hardware available from Huawei, just the most simple one with SAS disk, and we will come later into another slide where we will explain the physical architecture and the logical architecture. If you don't know, the TPC-H, this is concretely a test for data warehousing and business intelligence systems. Any more information, you can just access this link and you will get straight to the web page with a lot of information and your own possibility of executing this test on your own. Not specifically ours, but we can share it as well, how you can prepare this, what you will see in a moment. This is going to be interactive, so I will come here and double check that with the date and the authenticity of the test. Meanwhile, I'm talking this, I can do 6 days from the wall. It's the 5th of June, and if I go to a newspaper, for example, the Daily Telegraph UK, and if I check the dates somewhere to check the dates, well, that were the news today. As you see, 5th of June, that's the publication date for today. Okay, then we have checked the date and where when we are recording this test. Let's go straight forward to what is this test. We have two databases. We will explain later the architecture behind. I will just copy paste and execute one of the queries that we are sharing in the test sum results, and I will just copy paste into both databases and see how long it takes. We have selected a small one that it takes around a minute, and there is still some differences. What is important to mention is that they have completely different resources. The one on the right, it has half of the CPU power and half of the RAM memory. It has the same number of disks when it has been executed this test. Later we have done operations of adding more disks just as testing, proper testing of how to add a disk and so on. But let's say that both systems are here running, yes, and in a while we are going to see the outcome of this test. Okay, on the right side is already finished in 53 seconds, and on the left side soon it should finish as well in few seconds more. Okay, what we can see on the right side is that there is a table that it was here is the query. It's counting how many orders are where the total price is between 100,000 and 200,000. And the same query here is being executed, and you will see the difference. And there is also a point where this technology is adding value when you have to parse a big amount of data. Yeah, and in a moment should come, but I will come to present just some part of the architecture. Okay, it's a virtual architecture of VMware with two machines in the background of Huawei with Intel Xeon processors. We have them here. Here they are running the two VMs that we are showing today is the DB2 and the CN1. Yes, this is the configuration, as you can see, we have one with 4 virtual CPUs for the machine that is running on the right, on the split window, another for 8 CPUs, and we have another on the left that is 24 CPUs and more RAM. And if we go back, we have seen that this has finished in 1 minute and 11, and this in 53 seconds. More the average of this, we have it in our results slide. So we have executed the query 3 that usually it takes around 58 seconds in the database on the right and 1 minute and 34 seconds in the database on the left. As you notice, the database on the left is an Oracle latest database, latest patch up to date, and it has a lot of power compared to the database on the right that is a Tibero, and is the version, the release that is based on the 2017 edition. More interesting is when you see it like this, the architecture, and you see that there is just one machine with the ASM and all the 8 disks spreading the information, doing mirroring and stripping. And on the other side, we have one compute, which is actually not half of the CPUs that some DBAs, Oracle DBAs, believe that it should be half or it should be the equal. And we have a storage server, which is just serve data to the compute, and it has a bit of intelligence. This technology is faster because it's comparable to Exadata, and in this regard, Oracle Database, yes, it has the Exadata, but we have benchmarkings as well where Tibero can definitely win. In this regard, we don't have much data, it's just 100 and something gigabytes. When we have more data, the difference are bigger, as you can see. At the same time, it's important to see how similar looks the technology. And we have desk, the DBA users. We have less columns on the Tibero side, but archive log lists. We can put these databases in archive log, but it was not the right thing for the test. Show parameter DB name, then clearly the Tibero active cluster is the one on the right, and here for some reason have to get out. You see the banner is the 19.3, and on the other side there is no banner on exit, but there is a banner when you get in, Tibero 6, okay? And this is taking a bit more time to get in, but finally we are here. So parameter DB name is Oracle and Tibero. And yes, it looks very similar. It has been created with the concept of making it DBA and developer friendly and having the less possible investment from developer and database administrator to adopt. So we have cases where just with 1-2 days of training, they can just move on and they can exchange the knowledge from Oracle into Tibero. And we have cases where the migration, it has been through the to an assistant. The assistant actually is in the presentation we have done in this test to ensure that the data that has been generated, it was loaded in both systems. We have generated data first on one machine, then we load it to Oracle actually to be able to use our T app that can migrate from Oracle or other systems to Tibero. You select just the schemas, and then it's recreating all the data dictionary for any number of schemas. we have cases that we have migrated like 4,000 procedures, thousands and thousands of lines of code, like 200,000, 300,000 lines of code. There is no problem for that. Important thing is, if you go to Tibero 6 online manual, you will notice that in administrator guide, any Oracle DBA will feel at home. And the good thing for Tibero as well is that in Enterprise Edition, it comes with an offering where the database guy or the developer doesn't have to be any more concerned about licensing, because it's an all-inclusive model. And it has many more software in a much less space than Oracle. For example, the binaries of this Tibero, let's run another query, meanwhile I'm talking. The binaries, first, I was about to run this one to check how big are the tables in both systems, and actually to check at the same time that the same DBA segments are available and many views are the same, at around 200 views, to 300. Then in the online manual, as you can see, if you click on Administrator Guide, you will see a lot of familiar stuff. Okay. Distributed transactions and a standby cluster, how to have a standby that is read-only. Yes. The cluster manager is different, but very easy to manage. Then you can manage a BIP, virtual IP, resources, the active cluster that is like similar to the rack, and the data encryption, which is actually a strong point on how to encrypt data in Tibero. It avoids data tampering, and Oracle doesn't. It classifies the data modifications as data corruption. So definitely there are many other points, not only the performance, to consider Tibero. What is very interesting is that it's similar, and then I don't have to learn about it if I'm Oracle DBA or Oracle developer. I just have to copy paste my code, and maybe there are some things that I have to change, but it's always a matter of minutes in some procedures, and that's it. That's the experience. This that we run right now is around 5 minutes to 10 minutes on Oracle side. I will leave it running, meanwhile I explain more things. And in here, I want to show you, meanwhile it is running, that, let me open a new one. Yes. No. Okay, so to show you again the infrastructure, now that you know. Okay, here we have on the Oracle side these 24 CPUs, and it is still not able to catch up with Tibero, with half of the total CPUs allocated. And as you can see here, there are some customers that believe that this should be 12 here, and 4 is no problem, because here it already has also the ASM. So maybe I wanted to have half, but taking into account that this is something similar to ASM, but it's more similar to a storage cell in Exadata. And this actually, Tibero, it comes in 800 megabytes database home. It has much more functionality than Oracle. It's 7 gigabytes database home for the software. Also to mention, it has database gateways, that you can do database link directly to many other databases to connect your data easily and build a data lake if you wish. Why a data lake? Because it also has the possibility to create external tables that are based on HDFS or HBase. This is the conjunction of big data queryable directly from the database. You can query something that is already in a data lake in a Hadoop cluster like Amazon, EMR, or any other similar that is Hadoop based. There are many solutions around Hadoop, so check this out. It's a good strategy to have the Tibero with Hadoop, and you can build a very nice solution. The storage distribution is similar to ASM. We have as well the possibility to have an enterprise manager that is very straightforward. In this test, we haven't installed this Tibero manager. We don't have it deployed because it can, it can a bit influence into the performance in both databases, and we want to avoid that. This is the WebLogic from the same provider, Temaxsoft. It comes with good references in UK and around the world for scaling Java applications. As you can see, you have domains. You can deploy applications as well, and yes, you can have servers monitoring the threads, the transactions, maybe, and yes, it comes together with a Web2B that is an enterprise Apache that it can be like a cluster and is better than Nginx or Tomcat or Apache itself, of course, but it's better than most of the web front systems that are in the market that are like well known, and this is already dominating in some Asian countries. As it comes from Korea, it's already dominating there, but too much, 80%, and in other countries it's growing good. From this guide, also I would like to pinpoint the big amount. Tibero has the biggest amount of DBMS packages support and is natively inside the database, so it's the own language of the database. It runs PL SQL, but it's called here PSM, persistent storage modules. There are many things that you can use. There is still a SQL translator that this database can be used to run SQL Server code, and it can translate and keep the compiled version in memory. It's a direct replacement not only of Oracle but also DB2, but it's clearly the most similar to Oracle regarding administration and development. And let's check here. Okay, on one side, it has finished earlier than we have on the slides, but we have taken a bit of an average, and it's 4 minutes and 53 seconds. On the slides, we have for Oracle from 5 minutes to 10 minutes the worst. Let's see this time how it take it, because every time we run a query, we flush the shared pool and the buffer cache. You can ask your DBAs if this is correct or not, but we are making something that is fair. About the parameters, as you see, the resources of the machine are really constrained from the database on the right side, that is Tibero, and we have a lot of resources on the database on the left. In a while, when this finishes, I will investigate further this architecture with parameters, the parameter file from here is finished in 6 minutes 12. And as you see, if you have to run this query, on one side it will have to read, okay, something like 12 million times from disk. And on the other side, it's much more performant, but at the same time it saves a lot of IOPS, because the storage is more intelligent and it reads only 2,800 times. Okay, good. So that's the main part of the test. let's do now to double check each the configuration files to show everyone that we are playing fair and everything is good. So parameter memory. Wait, I have to exit. Get in. I think this part even I can do like this. Have to put both on the same level. Good. So parameter memory, we check the memory parameters. As it is a video, you can check on your side by playing or pausing the video. So parameter, this is HHM, this is for Tibero, the shared memory, and here for Oracle is show parameter SDA. Okay, good. Okay, so it's 24 gig. Okay, and it has a lot more for user processes on the left side than the right side. That it has half of the memory. Good. Regarding parameters of the database, let's check first in Oracle to understand that we don't have anything special, and I will have to create a file from SP file. Here it comes. And now I will check this ORCL. Well, as you see, you can pause the video and check it out. We have up to 8 gigabytes PGA, which is a lot, and we don't have such tuning on Tibero side. On Tibero side, we can query actually all of it. First, I will query the database. It's a binary. Cat tag 0 tip is a binary tip, and the Tibero instance parameters. Query them, and what I have is 28 is share memory, 32 the target, and there is no indication about how big it should be the user processes, something like a PGA in Oracle. So it's a very plain installation. If I check about the if I check, sorry for that. If I check about the the processes, so you see what is running. We have here a database app that is the compute. Here is the ASM but is active storage in Tibero, and then we have as well another small machine that is the storage, just for the storage, and we have these systems that is just for the storage server, and it provides a second layer or second tier that it can scale on the cloud. So in the cloud you can create virtual machines that are for storage, and it's distributing the data and giving the data through a subnet to the compute, and then the compute can have all the CPU power and the specialization to perform the job. And what is good is also the storage is pre-filtering what you have in any select in the where clause and most of the filters, so it's saving a lot more of resources in the network and in the CPU for Tibero solution. Yes, we have this. Now we go to check what we have in Oracle. So ahora a lot of processes, so an ISM, and what we have, well, I will actually do this. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. Let's say, okay, maybe we have a little problem with the listener, but everything is fine. The listener, yeah, the grid listener. Well, this is not a grid listener; it's just a single instance, but the rest is a bit. You can feel it. It's always heavier to deal with the Oracle than dealing with Tibero. Tibero, by the way, it has its own embedded listener inside the instance, and you can add or delete ports dynamically without rebooting the instance, of course. You can have several instances for compute and several instances for storage. I think that's all that we can explain. It was the listener. Okay, uptime 13 days. And as you can see, that's the infrastructure that we have prepared to perform the test. Let's see, as maybe we can run the second. We have run the first, the third, not the second. We will run the second and just finalize with some catch up. Okay, let's see which one is the second here. Copy, then close this one, and inside this one I have to load the DB variables, go to multi-execution, hide this. Yeah, use the alias that is calling the SQL Plus assist DBA and Tibero on the other side. And now we can paste this. Of course, there is a parameter that we set for testing just to enable this feature on Tibero side, that is storage processing, yes. And of course, it's failing in Oracle. That is in Oracle. To actually have this functionality, you have to buy an Exadata, or you have to deploy an Exadata in the cloud of Oracle only. And this, you can check it out in case you don't know, but it costs a lot. And on Tibero is a database and a software provider that is friend of everyone, is always opening new partnerships, partner of VMware, partner of Amazon Web Services, partner of Azure, partner of everything, even is always open for more partnerships. It's a very collaborative company. So in this regard, you can put Tibero in any virtualization. For virtualization or containers, you just have to license the container capacity and not any penalty like in Oracle with the full infrastructure for whatever scope that they decide at any time. Good. Meanwhile, this is running for 4 minutes or something. We have it here under control. Let's go back to catch up with a very important closing slide. The reasons and why people choose Tibero is, first, it's very similar to Oracle for DBAs and developers. DBAs doesn't have to learn a lot, and also they have a lot of functionality that they cannot use with Oracle unless if they pay a lot, and with Tibero it's already there and they don't have these constraints or concerns. Management as well can be more calm, thinking that whatever the database guys they are doing or the developers is not going to impact them financially in the next audit. As you know, Oracle uses the audits as a upselling and cross-selling strategy. So stay tuned for this database about the functionality that is always coming. the developers, they prefer Tibero because they can use the same source codes they have developed for Oracle. Let's say this company that you have developed your software is making a software for a bunch of customers that they still prefer Oracle for whatever reasons, and they still have another customers that they are open for Tibero, or they have to go to the cloud and they see that Tibero is clearly a more friendly software to work with. Then they see that with the same source code, it can run the PL SQL in both databases, and the queries and everything runs the same. So it's one source code, but it opens the possibility to have two databases running this code that are completely different about politics and completely different about the offering they give for the value. And more talking about value, what we have said in Oracle, there is a link here that, as you know, if you want to use high availability in the case of Oracle, they come with a statement like the high availability from them, which is a very important functionality for Oracle databases to scale. It's only usable in Oracle Cloud. Okay? So that's why many customers in Amazon for Oracle, they cannot use high availability. Their high availability is to have the way they scale is just scale up. So they can just add more and more resources to the machine and hope that it works better. And they cannot have any other option because the disaster recovery is another single machine. And yes, it can offload the queries in read-only, but it's an extra cost feature as always. In Tibero, this doesn't cost. And then it's, yes, another good thing to mention. About security, we already mentioned that most of the security is already in Tibero and is something more realistic because Tibero doesn't have this amount of patches. It doesn't require this amount of patches. It's a newer software. It's a software that they put an eye on Oracle saying, okay, we won't do with the same number of bugs and that you have. So it's clearly more secure. That's why it doesn't have much more patches. It's just like 7 patches in the last 2 years, and that's all of it. About reducing costs, as you can see in this test, we have half of the hardware for Tibero, which is actually very important in the cloud because you pay for the hardware you provision, even if it's virtual, and it has a totally different cost. So if you are running a big infrastructure, it will make a big difference, not only on the licensing, that is clearly that you can save 70% or more, but it's a big saving already. Plus the support as well is another saving that is not here, but it's another thing to add. And I would mention that yes, the risk, we have customer voices that they have chosen Tibero not because they save, but because they know that with Temaxoft is not a company that it will change the policy as Oracle that often or even known at all, just to try to squeeze the customer for more money. As you see, the latest changes in the January 2017 to make Azure and AWS double expensive versus Oracle, and as you see, the Java changes to push to get much further revenue from their products. It's totally different company. That's why it's being chosen. The flexibility we already mentioned. In Temaxoft website, you can see that the freedom word, it has this meaning that you can use their software in any cloud, in any virtualization, any container. It's going to be compliant, and the configuration is very easy. It's just an easy world where everything works, much less maintenance. You work the same with the code. You administer more or less the same, almost the same on 80 to 90%. And you can see the Microsoft website is about freedom. Okay, so this opens a lot of doors for architects when they have to deploy a solution. They don't have to think that much about compliance. They just have to think about putting the best technologies together to bring the best solution. And this is what I think is Tibero. I will thank you all. Now we check the results. Results here. We got again another like almost 6 minutes, 4 minutes and 35 seconds for Tibero, and it's still a small data. When it's bigger, it's a bigger difference, and we have a small architecture for Tibero in this test, which actually it should be a bit shocking for the people that doesn't hear about Tibero until this test. Thank you, and again, you can any questions if you want to reproduce this test, you can write us, and I will send you the how you can prepare it on your own. It's not that difficult. It takes this test takes a few days to prepare it because it has to be rigorous and exact and fair. But just to try Tibero, if it's on Windows, it's just next, 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 and install and run and connect with JDBC driver and try it and copy paste your PL/SQL code and just works. And if it's on Linux, you just have to do a regular preparation like an Oracle machine and some more things to create the Tibero user, and it runs very nice. Good. Thank you very much.